everybody, Mrs. Rushton here. I'm going to be bringing you an art lesson this week that has to do with complementary colors, since that's what we're learning about this week. So the actual art project is going to be an op art hand drawing, and op art is like optical illusion. It's just going to be a slight optical illusion where it looks like you have a hand kind of popping out of the page. And the complementary colors, remember, are all the colors that are opposite each other on the color wheel. Supplies that I want you to get today are going to be a white piece of paper, a pencil, and colors. I'm going to use markers. Crayons or markers will be perfect for this. Also, you might notice how small my paper is. I'm going with half a sheet of paper, just big enough for my hand so that it doesn't take forever and a day to do this drawing, because we're going to do a lot of coloring in. So the first thing I want to do is to divide the paper up into a lot of little lines. So we're going to do that by starting with giving ourselves some guidelines. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take my paper and I'm going to fold it in half. Now I'll show you kind of the best way to do this. I like to keep one hand flat and the other hand lifts the paper, and then and that helps keep that center piece down. Then I'm going to line up my edges. So my edges are nice and lined up down here. And then I'm going to take my fingertips and I'm going to walk until I hit that center part. And then I'm going to slide out one way and slide out the other way. All right, that was pretty good. Now, I have a hard time refolding the paper. If you want to do it that way, you can, but I'm going to open it and do a shutter fold. So now I open it, I'm going to use that crease we just made as a guide. I'm going to fold this side to meet that center and this side to meet the center. Again, use your fingertips to hold it down, and sometimes you got to give it a little bit of a massage and line it up with that center fold you did. Find the center and then press it out, press it out. I'm going to rotate my paper to do the other side. Okay, now I have 1, 2, 3 lines that I've created with folds. I'm going to take my pencil and I'm going to very lightly go over those. Great. Now I'm going to take each of those and find what looks to be the middle, and I'm going to draw another line down the middle. Now your lines might get a little wobbly. That's okay. Don't worry about it. Get them as straight as you can. Use a ruler if you like to, but a little wobbly is okay. Okay. Now I'm going to repeat that one final time. That means you're going to have a bunch of little vertical lines, or once we turn it sideways, horizontal lines. Here we go. One more time. Divide all of them in half. So that was an easy way to divide our paper into a bunch of little sections without measuring it. We took and uses our folds as guides. All right, the next step before we add the color is going to be to trace our hand. I am right-handed, so I'm going to, of course, lay my left hand down here. I'm going to take off my watch so that I can get my wrist. Now, spread your fingers out just enough to where you can get your pencil in there. Make sure your wrist is flat, and here we go. Try to hold your pencil straight up and down when you do this. If you angle it, you're going to get a really skinny wrist. So holding it up and down as much as possible, not worrying about too many of the bumpies. Just lightly pressing it against my skin as I draw, not trying to push too hard against my body. And take that all the way out to the edge of the paper. All right, there you have it. And if you made a few mistakes, that's okay to come in and kind of smooth those out. All right, now here comes the coloring part. And we are going to be using our complementary colors to color this. And so what you're going to do is each row, right, each line that we created, you're going to pick one set of complementary colors. So the first one I'm going to do is orange and blue. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to color that whole section using the orange and the blue. And when the hand appears, I'm going to use one color. And when it's the background, I'm going to use the other color. So I only have a little sliver in here of color. So there's the blue, and then I'll do the rest of it orange. Don't color the entire hand yet. Now, try to do this right against that line. We are going to try to make that pencil line basically disappear by drawing right up next to it. Guys, this might take a little bit of time and a little bit of patience. Perfect. Now, I'm going to take my next set of complementary colors. I'm going to do my yellow and violet, now or purple. My purple looks a lot like the blue on the camera, but they are different. So I'm going to take one, and again, wherever the hand is going to be one color. I'm going to rotate my paper so I can get in there nice and detailed. So I'm going to use the yellow for the hand part. And then its complement is the purple, so I'm going to use the purple for the rest of it. Notice the hand does not touch in the rest of that line. So I'm going to use the purple, get a nice clean line, and here we go. Okay, now I have one more set of complementary colors, and that is going to be my red and my green. So same thing, one color for the hand and one color for the background. All right, so now I have colored each of those strips using a set of complementary colors. You can see why I suggest a half a piece of paper. It takes a little while. Now, as one final step, and this is going to add to the op art or the popping of the hand, you're going to take your pencil and all around the edge, you're going to give it a little bit of a shadow. So watch me. So I'm just going to take my pencil and right where the two colors intersect, my paper was still a little wet from my marker. You're going to go ahead and give it some shade. Now, mine's showing up a little shiny because of my light. You might also use a black color pencil for this. So I'm just going to give it a little bit of a shadow around the edge. Now, I am seeing that that is not showing up super great for you under the camera. So I will make sure and get a really great picture of this when there's not a lot of light shining off of it. So I'm just going to take and go all around my edge of my hand, just giving it a nice little value shadow right up against where the colors meet, and then letting it kind of fade out a little bit. And that's going to make that hand look a little bit more 3D, standing up off of the paper. All right, you see how that, from that angle, it looks dark, it's not as shiny? That's what you're going for. So I'm going to go around the whole paper and do that. All right, there you have it. There is my op art hand design. Have fun. Again, use crayon, marker, or I actually think color pencil would work really well on this. Don't forget to take a picture when you are done and upload it into your Google assignment. Until next time, toodaloo.